Hello, everybody, and welcome to There's Will. We're going to go right into our New Year's program being recorded on New Year's Eve and go to Patrick Patterson. We have him live in Kiev right now, and they're under missile attack. Also joining us, Professor Olgierd and Uziemblo. Sorry, it's not. We have a serious thing here. Jim Beam. And we have also Anthony, whatever his Scottish name is. Okay, Anthony, good to see you. Let's go immediately. I don't even know my own name. This is a terrible way to start a dramatic program. Let's go to Patrick in Kiev, where he's standing on a hill. This is not a send-up. Patrick, how are you?
Been better.
What's going on?
The first wave of rocket attacks came in maybe half hour ago at a arboretum, so it's kind of an open space. So kind of.
Can you put your camera a little away from your face and a little higher? There you go.
The left shore is on one side and city center's on the other. So standing outside with air defense going off, rockets coming in. Rockets are coming in 15 minutes from now. So
you expect them in 15 minutes from now?
Correct. So we have a 15-minute break to leave the open space to get to a safer spot.
So where are you?
I'm where?
In the city center.
The city center.
We were in botanical.
So at the botanical garden. So leaving the botanical garden now.
I could see your hand, so easy does it with the hand. Yeah, there you go. Are you driving?
My apologies. Yes.
No, actually,
I'm not driving.
But you're in a car. You're in a car.
Yes, I'm in a car. Yeah.
So where do you go?
Underground. There's a hotel that was hit maybe 2 meters. 2 kilometers from where we were. It hit the hotel that I had normally stayed in when coming here. Actually hit the side and the actual room that I have stayed in. I'm not sure how many fatalities or injuries from that missile strike, but it did hit a hotel. Another missile fell between 2 living spaces, and there's at least one fatality there as of now. So all civilian targets have been hit.
Ow.
So, you said you were out on a hill somewhere in the city. Is that close to the river? Where were you?
Yeah, it's close to the river. We were at the botanical gardens.
Right. Okay. So that's where you walk along to the big lady and all that stuff, the big statue in that area, is it?
Not far.
Not far from the big lady statue.
Correct. Right. I know the area. I've done that walk many times. So it's good that you're safe. When was the first attack, and where were you when that happened?
At the botanical gardens, maybe 40 minutes ago.
And how does that? What happens when the attack is coming? How you hear? Just give us the sequence of events and the timing. For you hear the sirens first, right?
Yep, the siren went off earlier, maybe an hour after the siren went off. You can get mobile alerts on a variety of Telegram channels.
Okay.
So I have an idea of if there missiles or drones coming, and we got a warning of the first wave of missiles coming, and maybe half hour after getting that notification of missiles coming, the sounds of air defense were working, and then the first explosion was definitely the hotel. They got hit. You could just feel the impact on that. Extremely loud. Out of all of the missile attacks that I've been in, this was probably the loudest.
So that was, you think that was a cruise missile or what? Sorry.
That I.
Go ahead. He's frozen there. Okay. He's frozen, so let's.
Maybe going in and out of you know.
Oh, and now he's coming back. Well.
Of coverage.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Patrick. We lost you for just a little frozen moment. You have the floor. Continue.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it is. It's terrifying. It's you don't know if you're going to have a rocket intercepted in the air and have debris fall on you. You just don't know. All you hear is just the explosions and the concussions from that. You can feel it in you, and it's terrifying. So right now I am extremely close to where that rocket happened. I can try to get close to it, but I'm not certain on how close I can get.
You think there might be
sure.
The authorities might have closed it off, or actually, that's. Would
I'm
you?
sure they have.
Yeah.
I'm not certain on. Honestly, just after what I went through, if I want to be out in the open, exposed in this district.
Well, I mean, you might operate under the idea that if they've already, lightning won't strike twice in the same place. But then again, sometimes they do hit the same place, and it's not true, is it? Yeah. So you need to be careful.
It doesn't work this way.
You need to be careful, Patrick. Have you got your camera with you?
No.
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 Come out without your camera.
I have my cell phone, so a camera's a camera, right?
Yeah, sure. If you're just documenting, sure. By the way, I like the pictures, and we're going to do something with it. I'm working on it. I hope to submit on Monday. Okay, I will submit on Monday.
Okay.
And I'll keep you posted. You're going to be making a trip. You're going to be leaving and going to the United States at some point in the near future. How long from now?
I leave on Tuesday, and I'll return 2 to 3 weeks. Or I leave on Monday, and I will return back to Kyiv in 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, and you'll be stopping off in Krakow, yeah?
I will.
So maybe we can arrange to meet there when you come back if you're staying for a little, a while there. I mean, even for a night or for a few hours.
Yeah, I'll probably arrive in Kharkiv and then stay, but just that night, the day that I get there, and then I'll head.
Okay, well, let's try and rendezvous there on your way back and just see each other for the first time in a long time. I think I can manage that, provided I haven't gone to the States. But I don't plan to go to the States before the beginning of February. Yeah, myself. Okay, so you're heading now.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Hey guys, I'm gonna sign off. Okay.
Yep. Thank
right.
you. Thank you very much, Patrick.
luck.
Stay safe.
Stay safe,
And
Patrick.
you and I
All
will
right.
continue to speak over the weekend. Let's speak tomorrow and finalize what we can do with these photographs before you hit the road. Okay?
All right.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Thank you, sir. You guys go and get safe. Okay. Right. How about that?
Right in the thick of it.
Gosh, I was going to do some New Year's resolutions and stuff, but I think we need to talk about this right now. And for this part of the program, we'll talk about the situation right now and over the last few days. We'll come back and then we'll try and do something a little different in the second half that might be a little lighter. Of course, Patterson, who's appeared on the show several times, an old friend of mine, who's been based in Kiev. He's really been following the war closely. As a photographer, he's been up and down the lines and to many of the major places, as have you, Anthony. But he has been under fire, like in the city of Kiev, for the last 3 days, in fact. So this is rather an unprecedented thing, I think, in the war, these continued assaults, especially right on the holiday of the New Year. So just to remind people, I suppose, the diabolical idea is to remind people that the next year offers no comfort. At least that would seem to be what these actions mean. There, as I say,
You know, in
rocket.
Poland, we start really to feel how it feels back in Kiev. I keep on having lessons and online lectures from my friends in Ukraine. And just a week ago, we had a lecture of Professor Rusov, a brilliant sinologist who is translating Chinese poetry in his free time. And he was telling us stories about modern Chinese poetry from under the bombs. Actually, his electricity went back on just 15 minutes before the lecture.
So he was talking to you, transmitting during or around the time of another air raid. Yeah.
Yes.
We're getting used to this, aren't we? I mean, we're expecting it, let's say. We're not used to it. You don't get used to it,
Yeah,
really.
but the Ukrainian friends are getting really used to it. It's like, okay, it's another bombing. Come on, electricity is on. Let's have a lecture.
It's like the Blitz, isn't it? I've gone back to that on other shows. It's like what you would expect the Blitz on London was like, especially with these buzz bomb things. The drones are like the old buzz bombs, which were the first rockets of their kind. That the
V1s and V2, the famous.
Well, the V2 was an actual rocket. Looked like a rocket.
But V1 was
It was the
exactly
first
a moped.
to enter.
Mopeds they're using now.
Yes. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Anthony, are you heading?
They calling the rockets mopeds, like all small motorcycles, because of the buzz sound it makes.
Yes, mopeds they call them. Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And it does make that sound, which was very similar to the whir of the old buzz bomb, which is why they called them a buzz bomb in World War II, as they came across the water and attacked London. So it's, it just continues
They seem to be shooting blindly, just shooting them off. They don't aim at anything, do they?
Well, they have been hitting some of... Anthony, why don't you comment on that?
They have the ones that are, like you were going to say, Will, the ones that are targeting those are the cruise missiles. Those are the ones that have the GPS locations for them. But the ones that Olgierd are talking about are just the ones that they're just launching from the borders, and then that's it, or their locations that they're holding in the Olbasts and into Kiev, which they do have a range to be able to do that. So if they're hitting from Kiev, they're coming from the north of Ukraine, either from the Belarusian side or the Russian side, which doesn't matter because Kiev, it can be split in two from both countries there, and it's only about 50, 60 kilometers from the border.
Yes. Yeah. Are you planning a trip over there soon, Anthony, across the border? You've been hinting
we'll
at it.
We'll see if we win. Yeah, we've been trying to. I got a fever last week, and I couldn't go. That's one of those missions with one of the mates from Davai Kiev. So they have one that might be going on next week. We'll see.
Yeah.
If they can get that, because this is some of the biggest equipment that they have for medical supplies, and Parliament has been really needing this for Kiev, and it's actually going straight to Kiev. So hopefully Mateusz is okay, but we don't know. I haven't heard anything from it. I'm going to have to ask Rusty tonight, see if he's all right. Because we would have been in the thick of it right now, because we would have been coming back.
Rusty from Davai, Ukraine, we'll say, yeah, so people know. Davai, Ukraine, D-A-V-A-J, and you can find it on Facebook or Instagram, which is one of the funds and charities being driven by Australians and started by our Australian friend, Rusty Daniels.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think the point is? I mean, we're here, the Russians continue to speak out of both sides of their mouths about wanting to negotiate, and then
they never will.
Increasing the bombing.
They never.
Who are they lying to?
It's themselves and the rest of the world. They're just trying to make themselves look like as if they really want to. Meanwhile, they're just buying their time. That's all they're doing with these negotiations, buying their time to reposition their troops, or rearm their troops, or rearm their batteries. It's a flippin' utter total lie. They do not want to negotiate. They want to conquer the Ukraine. They want to completely and utterly annihilate this entire country and its heritage. They do not want peace.
Yes,
that is the one thing. The only thing that they understand is defeat or win.
We understand that, but there are certain defeatist voices in the United States who don't appear to understand the United States leadership position in Europe and seem to want to abnegate that. I don't understand those voices, but there's a substantial amount, perhaps 30% of people who are looking at it that way, led by some fairly famous voices, including Tucker Carlson, which I don't understand. It's not conservatism. It seems to be the kind of Charles Lindbergh isolationism which leads to trouble.
Let them continue to think the isolationism we haven't learned from our experiences of the 7th of December from 1941. That did not work out very well for us, and that pulled us into a world war. So if they want to continue to go down that route, it is going to happen again, because they do not understand that this peace is not going to be held lightly, and it's not going to be won easily, because Russia and Putin only understand right now, and I'm speaking about Putin only and his cronies, they do not understand peace. They do not want peace. They want to conquer. And that's what the United States, those individuals, the 30% of the individuals, and especially those voices that have no conceivable idea what's going on over here in Europe, especially on the eastern side of Europe, they don't understand what is at stake. The very thing that the Ukrainians right now are fighting, all three of us know that they're fighting for, is the fate of democracy. That is the problem.
And yet you have
they do not
people.
understand.
But can I throw this out for both of you?
Yeah.
May I? I didn't mean to step on you, but you raised a good question.
No.
And that is that people are saying, particularly this sort of 30%ers, let's call them, in the United States, are saying, well, Ukraine is not a democracy. This Zelensky is some kind of despot who has quelled any kind of opposition. He's shut down opposition. He shut down opposition publications and voices. What do you think about that? Let's go to Olgierd, give him a chance to weigh in, and then Anthony.
Well, we do have some problems with democracy, as any young democracy would have. And I mean Poland as well. I have some my own doubts about what is happening in Poland and what is happening in Ukraine. But what is the most important thing that must work in democracy? Change of leadership. And something that we do see both in Ukraine and in Poland. People are still voting. They vote people out of office. The main person in Warsaw is an opposition leader in the biggest city of Poland, and he's still alive and nobody harms him. Similar things
You
in
mean
Ukraine.
the mayor of Warsaw? Yeah.
Mayor of Warsaw, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Same things in Ukraine.
Sure.
Not ideal, yes. I would disagree with a lot of things about freedom of speech in Poland. I would love to see it freer than it is now. But still, we're comparing that to a monoparty system where there is no mechanism of changing of leadership, and there is no freedom of speech.
Yes, and I mean, you even hear some of the same things being said about not enough plurality of voices in the United States as well as in Britain, the paragons and Australia, if you can believe it, the paragons
Yes.
of free speech. So there is an attack on free speech, but as we well know, I mean, it's freely available in your own life, and also, I think technology. I'll just ride that hobby horse for a couple of seconds and say that the technology is one of the reasons it's kind of unavoidable when we give up our privacy to technology and to computerized tracking of our movements and even what we buy, and other personal data. This is going to happen. It's going to spill over into the voting process because we get used to it, right? So this is something we have to be on constant guard against, which at its greatest height would be multiplied by, for example, artificial intelligence
There is,
becoming its own thing. Yes.
If I may, there is this tendency to start to rely on online technology for voting.
Yeah.
For less real voting, more voting online, more voting by mail. I frankly find it the most disturbing.
Well, we're going to have to take a break here, and we'll come back and get some comments from Anthony on that. And I want to talk about some of the other developments. And we might do some lighter New Year's resolutions, but I think we're rather on a different track right now. And it's lovely to see you both and to have you both here and your valued opinions and views about what's going on today in Central Europe and in Ukraine. Okay, we'll see you right after the break. Watch these advertisements with interest and take notes because they keep us on the air. Thanks. We'll be right back. Gosh, that's a catchy tune. I wish I'd written it. Oh, I did. Oh, never mind. That's advertising for myself. If Norman Mailer could do it, why can't I? It is my show, as long as they let me continue. These are all my New Year's resolutions, but we may not have time to get to those because we've had this breaking story from Patrick, and because I have my two close colleagues on with many things to say. We have Professor Uziemblo. I was just kidding him at the beginning of the story, at the beginning of the show, not pronouncing his name right, because I thought that'd be a funny bit. But now I have to say it correctly in case people think I'm a complete moron instead of just half a moron. Yeah? Half a moron is okay. Complete moron, no good. Right? Now, we have, look at this fellow that we have. We've been joined by the dog out of the picture. Has he come, is this like a Wizard of Oz or something where he comes right out of the picture? And
yes, indeed.
And look at that yawning. Super.
Will,
now,
you're boring. You're boring.
who is that
dog?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor. I am no longer going to read your Chinese translations in the original. You could forget that. Okay. I know, I am boring. But I'm not that boring, I hope. Anyway, what's his name? Tell us about him.
Scooby. He is a Wheaton Scottish Terrier.
Wow.
He is only 10 weeks old.
Hold him up a little so we can see his face. Okay, now what kind, that looks like a great dog. Now what kind of price do you pay for a dog like that?
About 5,000 Swati.
Yeah, it's a lot. Because I have cats and they cost a lot. I got Maine Coons that cost like $1,000 or something each.
Oh yeah, that's about the same.
These are paper dogs with papers. I mean cats with papers that act like dogs. They're the same size as when he's full grown. When he's full, what will he weigh when he's full grown?
Roughly about 12 kilos at best.
Yeah, that's like my biggest cat. Guinness has 12 kilos. Is 12 kilos.
Wait. Guinness? Ow.
His name's Guinness. He's 12 kilos. He's white and yellow. Uh-oh. What have we got here? A raccoon?
No, there's the a raccoon.
That's a very unhappy cat.
Because he doesn't like, he's camera shy. He's beautiful. Now, what's his name?
It's her. Her name is Tsuki.
Okay, we're going to cut to
Oh, no,
Patrick
she doesn't
because
want to be in camera.
we'll cut. Thank you for introducing the animals. We got to go to Patrick, and he's got on his helmet, so he's out. Let's cut to Patrick and see what he has to say from Kiev live. Patrick, you're on.
So, it's pretty weird, huh? You
Yeah.
like my New Year's Eve up there?
Ha-
You feel a little silly when everybody you're walking by doesn't have anything on. But the next wave should be here any minute. So 3:15 is the estimated time of arrival of the next round of missiles. So
Okay, so it's imminent, 30 seconds for waves, maybe.
So that's
correct.
2:15 our time, and it's now 2:15 according to my telephone.
So I would say that at any minute we could start hearing air defense and or missiles coming in.
Okay. Is there traffic on the streets? Are there people on the streets? Are they going for cover? What's going on? I see a car behind you just now.
No, people are still out and about doing their things. There's less people on the streets right now than there normally would be. But you know, this is what you tend to see. Everywhere. You know, you have an elderly person who is slowly walking down the street trying to get where she's going. But there's definitely less people on the street. So
When you say elderly, how old do you think that lady is? Or man?
85?
Yeah. So they have memories of things from the Second War.
Yes.
That person would. I always find that interesting in Warsaw when you see older people. If they're from Warsaw, they will remember things.
Video. It's in Poland. It's in Warsaw. It's a TV show.
Warszawa.
Я не розумію, що ви кажете.
She's going to the doctor.
Вони мене слышать? Ви мене слышите?
Да,
Добрий день. Ми
добрий
з
день.
Варшави. Ми телевидение з Варшави, телебачення польське.
Ясно, все, понятно. Все, будьте здоровы.
У нас вопрос, вы куда идете? Просто вопрос, наш журналист хотел спросить, куда вы идете? Куда вы направляетесь?
Я додому направляюсь.
Додому. Хорошо, спасибо большое.
Так,
Goodbye,
до побачення. Да.
Wow, that was nice. Well done.
Thank you.
So she's just going home.
Yeah, I heard what I could understand that. Yeah. Although my Ukrainian I can only understand maybe about 50% usually. Yeah.
So there is an injured journalist from Japan, from Hotel Alta Vita. That's the hotel that was hit. It's literally a 5-minute walk from where I am right now. The explosion was so close to where we relocated to that it blew all the doors open from the shockwave. So, you know, there's still traffic, there's still people out and about, but far less than there was. And this is kind of the trend in Kyiv is, especially since October, when that first wave started to come in, more people are starting to go to the shelters. There's more people that are listening to the warnings. But so the last 2 days, last 48 hours here, I think people are mentally exhausted in Kyiv, just with the attacks that happened on.
Oh, he's frozen on us. He's frozen us. We'll try and get him back as he goes to the hotel. He's probably come through a dead spot with the signal. Most like, thanks, Olgierd, for. The lady wanted to find out if we were spies, I think, you know?
I guess so.
You know, you want to make sure we're okay. Oh, Warsaw, that's okay. Warsaw's okay. And she said, good Lord, what do you think I'm doing? I'm going home. What are you doing out here?
Yeah, exactly. That's what she said.
If I could run, I'd be there. What are you doing walking around? That's what she said. She said, I've seen it all before, my friend. This is not my first rodeo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is pretty exciting stuff. I hope we can get him back.
I think I am.
Oh, here he is. Patrick?
So I'm going to be right on. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I think you went through a dead spot. So just don't rush. Take your time so we can keep your signal. That's the most important thing. Okay, tell us what you're seeing and thinking as you're going there now.
You know, there's limited people on the main street now that I've gotten there. There's still a little bit of light traffic. I feel really vulnerable, to say the least. I feel a bit silly wearing what I have on, but at the same time, make me feel a little safer. I don't know if you caught what I mentioned, that there is a injured Japanese journalist.
Yes.
From the hotel.
Is this a popular journalist hotel? You stayed there yourself, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, it's not a popular hotel for journalists. But it is. It's out of the the city center near the main attractions. So you have more, you know, local mom and pop places, and it's just a special place.
Right. Can I ask you a question? If I wanted to go and meet journalists in Kiev, where they hang out and have a drink and trade stories, where would that be?
Intercontinental.
And where's the Intercontinental exactly?
It's near it's city center.
Near Maidan?
It's near Krishchatik, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The main street is Krishchatik. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then the city has started decorating the military blockades so that people can try to smile.
Advance a little bit so we can see that, and then scan it for us. Yeah. The block. Yeah. Okay. Now we can see it. Yeah. They put some eyeballs on the.
And a hat. Yeah.
Doesn't it feel rather surreal, like you're in a George Orwell novel or something?
Just feels weird.
Yeah. It feels weird to us, I think, certainly to me. And we're not even there. We're just there, you know, vicariously with you.
So I'm really close to that hotel. I'll see how close I can get. Rightfully so, the military is very leery of video, especially coming from phones. At one of the previous missile attacks, I got pulled aside by the Ukrainian security forces in plain clothes, and so I don't usually wear my press credentials.
So you've been stopped before.
Okay,
You've been stopped before, so you don't wear your press your press credential or your. Hello?
not to.
Now we've lost Olgierd. We're having technical troubles on New Year's. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to Patrick if we can, and Anthony. Can we? Have we lost Patrick? Only Anthony now?
Just move.
So we've lost Olgierd, Professor Uziemblo, and Zambrov, which is on the border with our county, Mazowieckie, and the next county over. And that, who's coming back now? Okay, can we put him on screen? Right. Okay, well.
I'm 4 minutes out to Vita.
Okay, we're hearing you but not seeing you. Now we're seeing you. Good. Patrick, I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you without your glasses. You look different with a helmet and glasses. I'm not even sure I'd recognize you if I saw you on the street. And I've known you 20 years. Since we were both in short pants, at least you were, and lollipops.
I have to squint.
You were a nice kid. You were a nice kid. Don't worry. You know.
All right. I'm starting to see emergency lights. So I'm really close. The good news is that from Hotel Alta Vita, it's going to be a 2-minute run or sprint to the subway.
Okay. Okay, we've got 7 or 8 minutes here till the end. So let's continue. Patrick, are you going to get there pretty soon?
I see it, but it's maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes at most.
Yeah, well, you're not wearing press credentials, but your helmet may be a giveaway.
Yeah, I have my credentials on me.
Yeah, you're not wearing an AK-47, are you?
I am not.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
My gear is.
Can you slow down your walking because we're losing you?
Trying to get.
Okay, just stop where you are now.
Okay.
So we can hear you better. And maybe you can turn around and show us the direction where it is over your shoulder. Right. Okay, that's a good view. Very good view. So we're seeing down the main street to the direction of the hotel. Can you see where the hotel was blown up? Can you see which?
The front. So this building right here is the theater.
Right. Okay, we see emergency vehicles, right?
So theater behind.
Is there any smoke in the air? Well, I don't see anything as you pan around.
No, there's no.
steady on because we're losing your voice. No, we're losing. Try and change the position of your telephone. We're losing the signal.
All right.
Okay, talk.
Can you hear me?
Hold your telephone up higher, perhaps.
Can you hear me?
No, we're not hearing you very well.
Okay. It might be the reception. Because
No, we're losing you. Stay with us. And
you got me?
we can see you very well, but you're just frozen. Now you're okay.
All right.
Talk. It's a nice picture. I can see the Christmas and looks like there was a market there or something.
So that,
But we can't hear you.
you can't hear me.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah, I'm
You're going in and out. Patrick, I think we're going to have to cut away. Or you can stay with us, and we'll see if we can get you back in a couple of minutes. But find a place where there's a little better reception. Check your bars on your phone. Maybe out in the open. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay? And we'll come back to you in a minute or two.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and we'll just keep the camera on you as you roll along. Okay, so this is quite a surprise for us to have Patrick Patterson, who's been corresponding for us in Kiev. He did a very interesting story this week, which was covering the funeral of a director who, I'm doing this extemporaneously, I've forgotten his name right now, but he is the director of the show that made the comedy show that made President Zelensky a household name before he was president, and the show on which his character became president. So Life Imitating Art, as some of you may know the story, or many of you may know. But the man who was...
His name is Olgierd.
What?
Oh, his name is Olgierd. His first name is Olgierd.
Olgierd, yeah, and his last name, do you remember? Yeah.
No, I don't remember his last name.
I haven't got it written down. I didn't bring my notes with me for that because I was gonna get Patrick to tell us.
I'm coming up. As soon as I turn the corner, you'll be able to start to see emergency vehicles.
Okay, good. At any rate, Patrick took photographs at the funeral. The wife is a famous actress, and he took some outstanding photographs, particularly one of her, which is, a wall. I mean, it's a portrait, it's a painting, it's like a painting. It's a beautiful photograph which conveys the emotion of the funeral, and there it is. There it is. Absolutely perfect photograph conveying the emotion of the time.
All right, guys, I'm here.
And we'll be, as I said before, we are running several of his photographs with some copy I'm writing in one of the magazines here in Poland, one of the weeklies coming up. And we'll try to go further afield with that story. Yes? Anthony?
His name is Oleg Bobalo.
Yes, Oleg Bobalo, that's it. I knew it was quite short, but I didn't want to butcher the name. I'd rather just admit I didn't have it correctly in my mind than try and get it wrong. But this fellow, a very famous director, and he died in Bakhmut. He's not the only one. There are a number of artists who've died in the war. There are a number of artists who are fighting in the war. I was speaking to Vova, who was a cameraman who was working with me for several years, who's now moved on to a job in Canada, in Vancouver, and he was telling me a number of his colleagues are on the front line. Younger colleagues, mostly, because Vova's in his early 40s, so he's not really prime military age. But that doesn't seem to stop a lot of people in this moment of need. Vova was also saying many people, he's hearing many people. Also, the professor was saying this to me last night when we were speaking to each other, that there are a lot of casualties on the Ukrainian side. It's coming in that the Russians aren't the only ones losing a lot of people on the front. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, so I'm standing here now. You can kind of see behind me everything that's happened. A crowd of people that have gathered, surprisingly, for journalists. But
is that the bombed hotel right behind you?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we see the picture of that? You can turn around and show us. Hey, that's fine. Or yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's a substantial hit on the corner of the hotel there, but it's even interesting to me, Patrick, seeing the surrounding circumstances, that the people are sort of rubbernecking and stopping to have a look at what's going on. Curiosity never stops, right? We're not the only ones who are curious. Perhaps their neighbors.
I'm now with the press corps.
Well, okay, we're not hearing you, but we can see the picture. That's a good shot. That's the damage to the hotel. And it looks like a fairly large hotel. Yeah. The flags flying out front, the EU flag, the Ukrainian flag, another flag, I don't know what it is. And substantial damage on that. Are there many buildings being hit, Patrick, in this way? Not in this area, but generally in the city.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty standard now for the last since October.
This is a pretty standard kind of shot. So they take out part of a building and disrupt the usage of that building. That building's probably going to be shut down now.
Right.
And it's going to take some time to get that repaired. We know there's one person injured. Was anyone killed?
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, but we know there was a journalist from Japan injured, as we were saying earlier in the show. Let me ask the producer, how much time have we got left in the program, please? Yeah, we have. I thought we were winding down. We're going to have to finish. Okay, on the next show, I'll do my New Year's resolutions, because we didn't know we were going to have Patrick live under the missile attack, or the missile attack, as Nicholas would say if he were here, cousin Nicky. All right. Well, we'll leave it at this. Patrick, thank you very much. Bon voyage. Have a good trip. We'll be submitting your story with some copy I'm writing on Monday to a magazine, which has said they'll take it. So that should be good, and we'll see what else we can do with that. Patrick, I'll be in touch with you tomorrow on New Year's Day. So have a swinging rest of the day. Go take your helmet off someplace safe, okay?
All right. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year, Patrick.
Happy New Year to you too, Patrick.
Take care. All right. I'm with Olgierd and I'm with Anthony. Thank you guys for being here. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Very live.
You know, I remember Patrick when he was only little, and now he's walking around in war zones, and he's a fine photographer. So if anybody can capture images, he's one of the good ones. I want to thank you, Olgierd. We had some trouble with reception with you. I want to thank you for being with us. Come back soon. If you're, how's your schedule looking for next time? Are you going to be?
I'm free until the 6th, and on the 5th I'll be in hospital. But then after the 9th, I'm packed.
Are you on the same schedule as before, or does it change?
There are some slight changes. I'll have much freer Thursdays.
No, okay, maybe we'll go to Thursdays occasionally to have you on when we're not on Saturdays, because I know you have more time then. But we always like having you, and we have to talk about China. There's so much going on with Russia
yeah.
and China and the United States.
And Kazakhstan and all the
Oh, yeah,
Middle
because
East.
I predicted, I'm going to say it right now, I predicted Kazakhstan that would be sending oil and replacing Russia, and boy, it's happening. And I think we talked about it, even didn't you and I, Anthony? And maybe we did too.
Yes, sir.
I don't remember, but I know we talked about
all
it.
three of us. It was
We
actually
did
all
talk
three of
about
us
it.
Yes,
we
that's
talked
3
about
of
it.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, so super. I'm glad that in that case we were correct. We've done some things, we got some things right, not everything, but we've been pretty good on the show with getting things right. And I appreciate you two, fine gentlemen, being on the program. It wouldn't be the same without you, and I enjoy speaking with you every time. So may I wish you both, to you and your families, a happy New Year, and to both of your fine animal companions. Also, Scooby and
Suki.
Okay. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for watching. Wasn't that an interesting report from Patrick Patterson live in Kiev in the in-between salvos from the evil Russians? Okay. See you next time. And may I say, my goodness, I'm not going to forget, you're looking well. And why don't you stay that way in the new year?